So today, if you have the opportunity, we should be answering questions for you about what you would like to learn about a college tour and just in general questions that could be answered in the session about college tours, as we have some really wonderful guests with us tonight. Can you get to the next slide, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll try to read your mind on slide advancing.
Awesome. So again, we're recording, so if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat room and we can share out later in the evening and collect those questions and answers so we can share it out with our community after this event is over with as well. So let's get to know Zoom a little bit more and our breakthrough community. So tonight we're going to learn more about the value of college tours and how to make the most of the experience. This was brought up by our breakthrough community during our time together. They've shared an interest about learning more about college tours and what benefits come from these experiences. And we've worked really closely with our parent, Erica Abubakar, and our guests who are here tonight to bring some great resources and support your way. Some of the guests that we'll have tonight are from our admissions component he'll be talking about the tour in general. That'll be Timothy Berry from UC Admissions. Some of our community members will be talking about readiness and opportunities for students. That will be PJ Pope and Crystal Smith from CYC and Michael Griffin from DVS. And then we also will be sharing some online resources and tools that are available on our website that could help with preparation and support under our college-bound resources. And so I'm really excited to get through some of these tools and to share some of our guests with you. But for tonight, we'll have some norms to the meeting. So if you're joining us, we'll stay muted so that way we can all hear the information that's provided. If you do have a question, you can raise your hand to just be notified that you'd like to insert some comments or questions. And you could also use the chat feature to ask your questions that we can answer at a later time. But basically, we'll be sharing information, showing you some examples and details, and then allowing you to ask those questions. And without further ado, I'd just like to figure out who's in the Zoom with us. So not quite, Julie. So if you are in the Zoom, let's just go around and introduce yourself. What's your name? And basically, if you have any questions or what you'll be sharing with us tonight in brief. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Tiffany Dolder-Holland. I'm the program director with Breakthrough Cincinnati at the UC site. And I'm really excited to share my affiliation with UC and with Breakthrough here this evening. And let's go to Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Abubakar. I also consult with Breakthrough Cincinnati, the college aspect, and I have a graduate of Breakthrough Cincinnati and also a soon-to-be graduate of Breakthrough Cincinnati, of the Country Day site.
Thank you. Elena?
Hello, everyone. Elena Elmore, Program Director at the Cincinnati Country Day School site for Breakthrough. Really excited to learn some information about colleges and see some of our students.
Thank you. Ms. Lewis?
Hello, my name is Shala Lewis. My daughter is Alana Lewis, and she is a graduate of the Cincinnati Country Day site.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
PJ, are you available for an introduction, or do you want to wait for your time? All right, great.
I'm here. So PJ Pope, I am the College Access Manager at Cincinnati Youth Collaborative, otherwise known as CYC. And I'm just excited to share with you all some of the programs that we have to offer in our organization. So thanks for having me.
Crystal?
I don't know. I can't see myself. That's strange. But okay. I'm Crystal Smith. PJ is my colleague. I manage the AmeriCorps Ohio College Guides program at Cincinnati Youth Collaborative.
Thank you. Martina?
Hi, everyone. My name is Martina, and I am a graduate of the University of Cincinnati, and I'm currently a volunteer for Breakthrough Cincinnati as an AmeriCorps Vista. And back when I was at UC, I was actually a roar tour guide for admissions, so that was very fun. Nice to meet you all.
Yay, AmeriCorps!
Timothy?
How you guys doing today? My name is Timothy Berry. I'm the admissions counselor at UC. I currently manage the Hamilton County territory, pretty much all the schools except for CPS.
And Michael?
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Griff, and I serve as president of DVS based in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you. Michael, just so you know, your audio is a little rough. So I don't know if that's something that you can check into and before you have to speak a little more.
I'm looking into it.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We really value this community of learners. And so let's begin and learn what is the value of a college tour and why go on one. So we're gonna turn it over to Timothy.
Yeah.
Sorry, your name is incorrect on the admissions, but just Timothy Berry from admissions. As he said, he's in charge of Hamilton County Schools, University of Cincinnati.
Okay, so so the benefits of going on a college tour, I would say it's one thing to learn about your college online through all of the information provided through the various resources, different videos, maybe even social media. But it's another thing to actually experience the environment for yourself. When you go on a college tour, you have to get exposed to what the actual culture of the college is to see if that's a place where you can actually actively attend and see if that's a place where you can see yourself studying for the next 4 to 5 years. Have time to converse with current students. Maybe if you have time to find faculty or professors on campus, learn about some of the student support centers. Personally, while you're there on the tour and gain more insight to a lot of the culture itself. Is this asking what is the purpose or? I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
What would you learn on a tour?
Okay. What would you learn on a tour? So for UC, our college tour is kind of set up where it's about a 90-minute tour. It takes you all around campus, especially a lot of the more student congregated areas, to some of the support centers. You're going to get insights like some of the colleges. They do go through a lot of the colleges here at UC. You also go through Main Street, which is our more central hub where a lot of students traffic are frequent to go to class. You're going to go through TUC, which is our student center, where students congregate to eat lunch, study, hang out, etc. And you're going to get exposed to some classrooms. You're not going to necessarily sit in on classrooms, but you're going to walk by and kind of able to look and briefly observe some classroom sessions while you're on the tour. Where will the tour take place? Here on the Uptown campus, you see we have 3 campuses, Blue Ash campus, a Claremont campus, and Uptown. Uptown is our more central campus that houses our 2-year degree certification programs all the way into your doctoral degree programs. And that is pretty much the central hub where a lot of the business of UC take place. Currently due to COVID-19, we're currently not hosting in-person college tours at this time, most likely not until August. Or whenever this situation dissolves. However, we do have the option where you can go online and do a virtual tour. Of course, it's not going to have the same quality and the same experience that you may have when you're physically on campus, but you'll still be able to view UC from the eyes of a student and still be able to make small little pit stops and learn about different descriptors of different things that take place, when, where, why, and how. And why. I think I answered that first. I think that was the first thing I answered. And how, in person or virtual. Yeah, and you'll be taking it right now virtual, But once this COVID-19 situation does transpire, then we will be inviting more people back to campus again to have in-person college tour sessions.
Great. So I just have one quick follow-up about the WIN. So is there any time of year that a family can come visit and do a tour, or are there specific times of the year that better serve families?
That's a great question. So we have college tour options open pretty much whenever we have business sessions open from 8 to 5 through the admissions office. Students could come any time of year, any day of the week, as long as it's through Monday through Friday. We do have different tour options though. We do have the personal or family-based tour options where if you and your student want to come to campus, we have that provided at 9 a.m. You do what's called a preview, where an admission counselor like myself, we will give you a PowerPoint presentation, more insight to what UC is like, what to expect, cost of attendance, housing options, different programs to take, experience-based learning, co-ops, etc. And then after that, you'll go on your tour. The second option is the group-based tours, that's given Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you're like a school group or a program, you have a much larger, but you want more of a little bit more individualized experience, specifically for your group, then we have those options as well in the same format.
Is this something that you would sign up for, or could you just show up on campus? What do you advise?
Yes, so you definitely would need to sign up online. We go to, I could put the link in the chat box, but it's admissions.uc.edu/visit. You will sign up online, schedule a time when to attend for a tour session. Also, we are an open campus, so if you, in the event that you are unable to make the tour session, you are able to do a personal tour without a guide. We will give you a map and you can still tour the campus in the way that's a little bit more personal for yourself.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through maybe some of the questions that some of our chat features have, and just if you could answer maybe yes or no to these questions. Okay. So on a tour, would you learn about the cost of a school?
Yes, you'll actually learn about that during the presentation.
Okay, would you also learn average class size?
Yes, you'll learn about that during the presentation as well, but you will also learn that most likely on the tour, because the tour is given by a student, one of our student ambassadors, and you can ask them a little bit more personal questions related to their own college experiences while they're on the tour as well. Would you also learn about work-study programs? Yes, you can, depending upon, you can ask either us after the presentation, or you can ask the student ambassador as well. Also, you can learn about our work-study programs on our website. This is another link I'm going to post in the chat. It's jobs.uc.edu, and they will have a list of pretty much every single job posting at UC. You can filter it to work-study. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, in general, on a tour, do specific presenters talk about graduation rates, or is that something to look up on a different time? On the tour itself, that is more of like a free question. That's not something that is necessarily provided within the tour information, but that's questions you can ask us as admissions counselors. Of course, the graduation rate does fluctuate year by year with different classes and different variables. But that's more of a question you can either ask us or the tour guide if they have the answer to that question. Great. Also, a part of the traditional tour, do they talk about study abroad or internships and things of that sort? Yeah. Yes, we reviewed that in the presentation prior to the tour about experience-based learning opportunities with studying abroad, internships, co-ops, research, student teaching experiences, etc. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when do you advise students to start maybe touring your college? What's a good time frame, or what year? I would say between 9th through 11th grade. I think that's the prime time for you to get exposure to college, so you can see some type of end goal in mind to kind of like begin to really dig down to what it is you ultimately want to do, where it is you ultimately want to go, and what some things that you're actually looking at in the college. I would not wait till your senior year, because I think at that point it's more of a last minute rush option, and you don't want to necessarily have a rush decision because you feel like you need to go somewhere and make a mistake in the end. Great. If there's any other questions, please post them in the chat.
Otherwise, Timothy, I appreciate you sharing a little bit about just college tours in general, and then what you see college tours could look like for our families.
Definitely.
And if you can stay after for any Q&A, that's appreciated.
I definitely will. And I'll also go ahead and post those 2 links that we just discussed.
I think we did. Our wonderful Martina put those in the chat too.
Oh, really?
Who's been our a past UC Roar, so she's on
okay.
it. So great, just an overview. I think what could also be said is college tours could be valuable because it's kind of like a dating scene, right? You're trying to see what's the best fit, what institution fits your personality and style and needs.
Yeah.
So now that we know a little bit more about what to expect on a tour, let's think about the preparation that goes into it before the tour, or what resources can help my student get ready for a college in general or tour. So we're going to pass it over to our community partners, which is, we're going to start off with PJ and Crystal from CYC, who can talk about some college-bound programming. And I'll just do a little bit of an introduction. So CYC is an organization that could be considered for students once they exit the Breakthrough program, if they aren't already involved. And go ahead, PJ.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I'm here to talk about the programs that we offer with CYC within our organization, but specifically for our talent search program, which is the program that I manage, and then I will pass it over to Crystal when I'm done to speak about AmeriCorps a little bit. But if we could go to that one pager. So the talent search program, and it is a federal grant that is intended to provide exposure to post-secondary options for students who otherwise would not be afforded or not be able to explore those options. So with our grant, it covers 5 schools specifically. So this may not apply to all students in Breakthrough, but the 5 schools that our grant currently covers are Shorter High School, Data, Hughes, Woodward, and Withrow. And at all 5 of those sites, we also have an AmeriCorps service guide in those schools as well. So we can kind of tag team or double up to provide the services and supports that students may need. But the grant, like I said, is put in place to provide exposure to post-secondary options. So some of the things that we do is, first of all, the grant pays to have a full-time advisor in all 5 of those schools. So they're there throughout the whole school day. They work hand in hand with school staff, primarily counselors, to make sure the students are receiving the supports that they need. So some of the things that our advisors work with students on are college tours, which Timothy just talked about a little bit. So once, if Timothy was to send out an email, or that UC had something, a college tour or something coming up, that is something that is some kind of information that we would give out to our students and families, something that they can take advantage of. So college tours, we also bring in college representatives, or work with school staff to bring in college representatives for the students at our schools. And then we also assist with other aspects that the students and families may not be familiar with or comfortable with, such as financial aid, helping them fill out financial aid packages, holding financial aid workshops. So we do that, ACT, SAT prep, everything that's going on now. There's a lot of tests optional, but that is something that we assist with, financial literacy. As you can see on the one pager, academic planning. So we'll do one-on-one advising with students. Like I said, those talent search advisors are in those schools all day. So they have offices where students can come in if they have questions or they need some kind of guidance or advice. Our advisors are there, willing and able to assist with those processes. So scholarship searches and preparation, which is a real big thing with the student population that we serve. So we, any scholarships that come through the system or anything that we're aware of, we make sure to get that information out to our students as well. So anything pretty much that has to do with post-secondary achievement and exposure, our program gets federal funding to provide those opportunities. Once students age out of the breakthrough program and things like that, our advisors will be there and be able to help them along throughout their high school career or high school years. So those are just a few examples of what our program does. Now since it is a federal grant, there is an application. So you have to be a U.S. citizen, have to have, some kind of U.S. citizenship in order to be served through our grant. So that is the main qualifying criteria for our grant. If you're not a U.S. citizen, we're not able to serve that student. But the great thing about having AmeriCorps in our same buildings and in our organization overall is they are able to pick up that slack and serve those students that we're not able to reach. So I'll let Crystal speak a little bit about the AmeriCorps College Guide Program.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, my esteemed colleague, Mr. PJ Pope. I am Crystal Smith, as I mentioned before. I do manage the AmeriCorps Ohio College Guides program at Cincinnati Youth Collaborative. We serve students in Cincinnati Public Schools, grades 7 through 12. PJ did mention that the Talent Search program is in 5 CPS schools. We are in those same schools, in addition to Aiken, Gamble, I'm sorry, I have to look at my cheat sheet. Aiken, Gamble, and Walnut Hills. We're there this year. This is our first year serving Walnut Hills students, as well as Cincinnati Arts and Technology Studios, or CATS. And so our work is with students in 7th through 12th grade. 7th through 10th grade, we focus on early awareness. And so that's just more about the idea of a post-secondary credential, whether that be college, whether that be a trade of some sort. We do workshops with those students, helping them understand their learning styles, understand study skills, and then preparation for high school. And then with students from 11th and 12th grade, the bucket is college access. And so it's a little bit more hands-on, where it's more individual advising, where with 7th through 10th graders, it's more of a group advising setting. With 11th and 12th graders, certainly juniors, there's a major focus on ACT prep, on college exploration. We support visits to college campuses, mostly in collaboration with Talent Search in those schools. And in the schools where we are not with a Talent Search advisor, we sponsor those college visits to give students, exploration experience. With seniors, there's always a major focus in the fall. We assist with college applications. We assist with scholarship searches, as well as completion. For example, the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation, we really promote that very heavily with our students, because the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation is for Cincinnati public school students. And so we do encourage our students, and we assist them with completion of that application. To date, any student that applies for funding through the Cincinnati Scholarship Foundation has been able to be awarded a scholarship. And outside of, ACT prep, college exploration and application, in addition to that, we just support students on an individual level. So we kind of help them figure out what it is that they may want to do. And our advisors are there to serve them one-on-one throughout the school year. The same as the Talent Search program, we are in the schools all day long throughout the school year. But the difference is that our AmeriCorps Ohio College Guides they are immersed in 11 months of national service. And so they do change each and every year in the schools that we serve. But they do sign up to give back to their communities through what we call a near-peer mentoring initiative. And we've been very successful with that. So yeah, that's basically what it is that we do. If you need me to repeat the schools, I'll go ahead and put them in the chat so that you know where we're currently serving.
And one more thing I would like to add, Tiffany, is you see on this one page, or you see our college access programs that are within our organization, CYC. And Get Up is also one of those programs who do similar work as Talent Search and AmeriCorps, but Gear Up is specifically for Norwood. Gear Up only serves Norwood. So I just wanted to add that.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing all those services and topics that you guys cover through all the programs that you provide. Now let's pass it over to Michael Griffin. He is a representative here from DVS, and I'll let you share your full name title because I know it's kind of lengthy too.
Well, yes, I run W. Smith University Education Solutions based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We've been around for 10 years, and much like my colleagues at CYC, we offer similar services around ACT prep, financial aid counseling, moving young people through the process. But I think one of our main programmatic hallmarks is our college tours. Starting in 10th grade, we take students to 15 colleges and universities over the course of an academic year. Some years it's a little more, but normally anywhere between 15 to 20 colleges and universities in the Midwest and the Mid-South. And we really divide, if we have the screen here, we divide up in urban, suburban, rural, and HBCU. We take Cincinnati students to pretty much anywhere within a 4 to 6 hour distance from Cincinnati, Ohio, starting in the 10th grade. And so we've been around for 10 years. So because we've been around for 10 years, we have relationships with over 72 colleges and universities around the United States. Our students currently attend about 74. So, and because of those direct connections, we have students on the campuses, and when we visit those campuses, students are able to do the following. They're able to get a tour, financial aid session, admission session. They get to talk directly to folks like Offices of Multicultural Affairs, Intercultural Affairs. Also, of course, they have lunch on campus, right? But one thing unique that we do, we make sure that we have a student panel with students from the source city. So anytime we go to a school, we have students from Cincinnati, Ohio that are a part of the student panel. And they can talk more about what is it like on campus? How do I get back and forth, from Cincinnati to campus? We visit schools such as University of Dayton, Eastern Michigan University, University of Kentucky, University of Louisville. We also visit schools like University of Pittsburgh. An HBCU that we visit is Tuskegee, Alabama A&M University, and we also visit some of our local partners as well. So.
Great, thank you, Michael. I guess just some couple follow-up questions too for you is we were asking Timothy earlier if there were certain times of year. So is there a certain time of year that you offer these college visits? Is it all year round or in a seasonal?
we offer these visits from September through November and March through May. And the September through November piece, which is primarily juniors and seniors. It's very heavily focused on juniors and seniors in the fall, and in the spring, sophomores we invite to the trips as well. Most of our, depending on the school, students have to have a minimum 2.5 GPA to attend. That can be flexible depending on a couple of things. So parent advocacy. So if a parent says, hey, I really want my child to go on this trip, really want my scholar to go on the trip, we usually say yes, right? If a counselor advocates for a student, we usually say yes. So.
And what type of student do you typically serve? Can any student sign up to do these tours, or are you looking for a certain type of student?
No, we serve all students.
No matter what school they attend?
Students. Nope, no matter what school they attend. Public, private, parochial, charter, doesn't matter. And
then when you were you talked about the distance, you could do a 4 to 6 hour distance to get to schools. What's your typical length of time for a college visit?
We're usually on campus for 4 hours.
So could you give us a typical day of what a tour looks like with DVS, like pick up, drop off, how do you get?
Our Cincinnati pickup and drop off is the Kroger parking lot on Mitchell and Kennard. So say if we was going to Eastern Michigan University, for example, and we would leave that location at 6 a.m., get to Eastern Michigan University around 10, leave at 2 p.m. and be back in Cincinnati by 6 p.m.
Okay.
So,
thank you. I know that the other questions were coming through, but I just want to make sure I got all those. Okay. That sounds great. Those are wonderful opportunities. I really think that it's really great to learn about what types of schools that we can visit, what's offered in a general tour. Now let's learn a little bit more about the information that we can collect on a tour to help us make good fits. So we're going to look at our tools for preparation and support. And then we'll invite Michael, PJ, Crystal, and Timothy back for some other Q&As maybe that are off chat. So I wanted to share a little bit more about our college-bound resources that are available to you. And so now that we've learned about the tours, there are some worksheets or checklists that can help anybody, no matter if they're going with Michael on a tour or if they're with AmeriCorps or the talent search in the schools that they serve, or just a family who wants to sign up for a tour and visit. So to be really prepared to know what visit or what college is your best fit, it would be great to do some comparisons. And so we thought that some worksheets could be helpful to any family who wants to compare whether it's a 2-year college, 4-year college, private, public, small, big, any type of school, so you can do some comparisons. So there's some worksheets here that you can look at. Thank you, Julie. There's a checklist as well that is offered by the College Board that our guests have also explained that are very resourceful. Things to look at before, or what things you should check out when you do a campus tour, college tour. So that way you're well informed when you make your decision about a college you'd like to attend. Okay, thank you, Julie. And lastly, once you get all that information, what do you do? How do you learn what's the best fit for you? There's some scorecard examples that could be used that you can, rate what you liked best about each school. And, if you give a 5 for one particular school, maybe that's the best fit school for you. Or maybe you need to differentiate what qualities you want to prioritize as well. Okay, so those are just some tools that are helpful for any family who'd like to go through. Now I'd like to pass it off to Julie to maybe talk a little bit about our College Bound website that also shares some other tools before passing it over to some Q&A.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Julie Witten. I'm the Executive Director at Breakthrough Cincinnati, and I'm just in awe of the community resources and expertise that we have here in our virtual room tonight. So I just want to thank our guests on behalf of all of Breakthrough. So I'm the one who's doing a so-so job clicking through all these documents back here. So I hope I'm not making you dizzy as I move around these resources, but we just wanted to provide a quick opportunity to show for you really a preview of a new section on the Breakthrough Cincinnati website. And this is just getting going. So we expect to add the various videos and resources that come about in these sessions to make those available more broadly to the Breakthrough community and beyond. So I'll scroll down here a little bit, hopefully not making everybody dizzy. But you'll see here that we have updated this section of our website with some of the tools and videos and even tonight's checklist. So if you're a Breakthrough student or parent and you miss the session because we know it's hard to get to a place in an evening after work, or these days onto into a quiet space to get onto a video call, we just want to make sure that these resources are as widely available as possible. So these are not exhaustive, but we want to use this space on our website to begin to help Breakthrough families have a hub of information that really relates to their college journey. This learning community that we began this year is designed really with two important things in mind: to leverage the wisdom and knowledge of our parents and students themselves, many of whom are already starting to think about college, and then also to leverage the resources and programs that are already available in our community. We think we do a really outstanding job building community during that 6th through 9th grade timeframe. But in our desire to extend our relationship with families and be with you longer as you and your student prepare for that really important choice to go to college and to do so in an informed way, we want to bring as many resources to that process as possible. So we can't possibly put all that on this website or cover everything in these sessions, but we sure hope to build some community around this, and we'll continue to build more and more resources here. So the way that you get to it, this what I'm showing here, we clicked right into it, but we actually just did some redecorating to our website. So you'll see here, if you go to the resources tab, College Bound Resources is what I'm showing right now. And just since I'm here, I'll just quickly navigate to this Health and Learning tab. We've been trying to compile, again, some, but not all resources maybe to help out during this just unusual and challenging time that we're all in. We know it can be hard to navigate school at home, and you know, where do we find exciting things to do when we can't go all the places that we're used to going for fun and recreation? So there are a variety of resources here that you might seek out if you haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. So, so that's, I think, my piece. Tiffany, was there anything else that you wanted to hear from me?
No, I think that's great. Thanks for sharing what our website has to offer. And I know that you can find some of the programs and services that we talked about tonight. So lastly, I just wanted to follow up with some Q&A if there's any last minute questions or questions that have been burning for a while, to ask our guests, Timothy, UC Admissions, PJ or Crystal from Cincinnati Youth Collaborative, offering programs for youth, and then Michael from DVS, who also has resources, but also specifically talked about tours this evening. Okay. I guess we did a really great job bringing the information together. I did have one more question for Michael, and please let me know if this is too bold to ask. Maybe I should ask you in the chat first, but we did mention something later in the month that could be offered or not.
Yes. On May 22nd, we'll be having a virtual college fair from noon to 3 p.m. And we'll have Indiana University, the University of Louisville, Spalding University, the University of Alabama, and a couple other schools we're still waiting to plug in, but those are the schools that'll be joining us. And those schools recruit heavy in the city of Cincinnati. So
it's really great news. And
I'll be sending that. I can send that info's coming out Monday. So
great.
And we just finished 3 weeks of virtual college fairs. 1 week was an HBCU week, and the past couple weeks have been schools from all over the country and throughout the Midwest. So it was like 29 schools. Decided to finally slow it down.
Yeah, I think that's really great. Thank you for sharing that. And just to get a quick
feedback. Send out an email on Monday.
And is this something that if a student or family were to bring some of those tools, the worksheets, that they could listen in on those virtual sessions and start filling out those worksheets to learn and compare?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is one of the perfect venues for that because we have a similar format here, and the college rep that's available, they really do a good job in answering all the questions in turn. So
great, thank you so much. So Julie, I guess maybe just that last page of the PowerPoint as we end up the evening in this session. I do want to thank Crystal, PJ, and Michael again for sharing some wonderful information and opportunities for our students and families that I know, again, if they weren't able to join us tonight, we will be sharing this widely with the families so that way they can hear from you in their own homes, because I'm really excited that, we are able to pivot to some virtual spaces so students and families can still learn about colleges even if they aren't able to visit in person.
Appreciate the opportunity.
One more slide back though, Julie. One more. There you go. So yeah, some of the next steps that families can think about is what colleges do you want to visit? So Michael shared some colleges that would be available on May 22nd. Hopefully those would be some that you're interested in. If not, he also had a list of all kinds of colleges, whether you're able to join in on those tours or if something that you want to do on your own. I know a lot of families, when we first started talking, they were thinking about doing their own trip and getting a group of breakthrough families together to do a road trip as a fun group. So thinking about what colleges you would like to visit, again, if it's a 2-year, 4-year, HBCU, private, public, all kinds of different choices that you have in geographic range. And then thinking about not only using those worksheets, but also generating some personalized questions that you want to ask. I know we didn't get into it too much here, and maybe Timothy can speak to it at another time, but if you have some personalized questions, as in if your student has an IEP or specific dietary needs, those general questions that wouldn't be answered in a tour. So make sure that you have those notes if it's something that's specific to your living and livelihood. And that is about it. So what did you like and what did you learn? That's something that we can consider as we move through. If you could put that in the chat, that would be great. And then for our next steps of our program, Julie, if you go to the last slide. So again, we did an inventory of topics. Julie talked about this on the website in the fall. Then we went into some milestones, knowing about our GPA in using the Bearcat tracker. That was the tool that was introduced in the fall as well. And then in winter, we did finances, and the tool that was introduced was the Sally Mae website, as well as some other scholarship opportunities through our counselor, Sarah Byrice. And then this time we were talking about visits. So basically it's to be determined what comes next, but we're really excited to again reach out to our families and really think about how, again, we can join together to make sure that we're talking through and generating ideas that will be useful for all of us as we work through these years past breakthrough in our college-bound experiences. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much. You all enjoy your evening and stay safe and sanitized.
You too, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you, PJ.
Nice seeing you all. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Take care.
I appreciate your time, Michael, all the way from Michigan.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks, Timothy, for your time today or this evening. Really helped having you here.